Hello. Basically, because that's a word I often start with, I want to talk about the 60s. Alright, 1964, the best year I was born. So obviously it is the best year. But in the 60s, they invented LSD. And they was like tripping out. I mean, basically the Beatles, if they hadn't have met up with that guru and taken LSD and mushrooms, magic mushrooms and stuff, they would never have gone in the direction that they went in, would they? But they did. Alright, all peace and love and that. And then you had the sexual revolution and freedom and burn your bras and like a real, like a lot of good revolutionary things happening in the 60s. And I always felt I'd missed out a little bit, but not as much as you lot have missed out, because in the 80s obviously I made up for only being a baby in the 60s. And I had my fair share of magic mushrooms and LSD and stuff like that. And during that period of the 60s and the 80s, you know, like what it did was people got a lot of common sense from partaking of the old psychedelics. Whereas the last however many years, you know, the last 50 years, well, probably not 50 because we got it in the 80s, but since the 80s, that's it, mushrooms and LSD have been sort of pushed aside. And what's happening? They've all gone crazy again, all gone racist. In the 80s, we were fighting the skinheads and the NF, but we didn't actually have to fight them because they ended up taking like the drugs and turning on, tuning in, dropping out and becoming hippies. You know, so the skinheads went all sort of like peace and love, right on, became clever. It was all that cocaine, I think. Anyway, these days the kids are on drugs I don't know about. I'm not even going to fucking say the name of them drugs, right? But basically, no one's on the LSD and no one's on the magic mushrooms. So, that's why we've got a world of people suffering from panic attacks, having mental illnesses, and totally in the head people going off their nut and getting violent for no reason. You know, obviously, right, none of these people have had the psychedelic experience. And that goes for a lot of older people as well who missed it. They never got that psychedelic experience, and they act a little bit crazy too. So, you know, like, here we are in this time of madness that my generation know all about because we was at the start of it. And the finish. I mean, like, we were born in the 60s, we was experiencing psychedelic stuff right through the 80s. So, you know, anyone born after that didn't get the experience was really missing out, aren't they? And what are they missing out on? Only the greatest historical find ever found. And that's the truth about Jesus not being a man, but a magic mushroom. And that's why you can only get to heaven through partaking of the magic mushroom. And when this evidence was found in 1947 by John M. Allegro in the Dead Sea Scrolls, the church were quick enough to cover it up, just like they were quick enough to commission him to go and decipher the Dead Sea Scrolls. But when they didn't like what he found, they just covered the whole thing up. So back in history, when the magic mushroom was forbidden, there was chaos and, large cities built like there is now, nothing for the interpersonal person. Just large corporations, large cities, war. Whereas in history, when the magic mushroom was not forbidden and was partaken of, there was peace, harmony, love and understanding. So just remember, we are now living in a time when the magic mushroom is forbidden, and the church is willing to tell lies and say that Jesus was a man, to keep their story going, to cover up the truth. So, yeah, there is no saviour for any of you unless you partake of the flesh of the magic mushroom and let it save you, innit? That's what I'd do if I could get hold of some. Imagine if the whole world would turn on again and peace and love came back in fashion.
Hello, Mum.
Hello. This is another media setup. They rule and control us, poor people, with no magic mushrooms. And that's why we are poor people, because magic mushrooms are illegal. Hi, Chi. How you doing?